Hello, nerds. Mr. Robot is a show you may or may not have heard about. If you haven't heard about it, well, it's complicated. And you should definitely go watch it, as it's one of the most underrated shows I've ever seen. And also because there are spoilers for the show into Season 3 in this video, so be warned. Now, with that being said, you either don't care about spoilers, or you've seen the show. Either way, I have to gush. I want to specifically highlight two episodes that I literally just finished watching 5 minutes ago. Season 3's Runtime Error and Kill Process episodes. Let me try to set the stage real quick. Elliot, who has been in a constant battle with Mr. Robot, realizes that Stage 2 of the Dark Army's plan, which entails blowing up an E-Corp building in the middle of New York City, is still in motion, and he must find a way to stop it. He also learned that he got fired from E-Corp thanks to Angela, so now he has to find a way to stop Stage 2 while avoiding the authorities inside E-Corp. Meanwhile, a massive protest of E-Corp is starting to heat up into a riot. The FBI is trying desperately to gain information on everyone, which includes using Elliot's sister Darlene as a spy in order to find Tyrell Wellick, who is working with the Dark Army, Angela, and Mr. Robot to blow up the building. You got all that? Good. As you can see, a lot is happening. How will it be executed? The answer is a 43-minute long shot. Yes, you heard that correctly, a 43-minute long shot which encompasses the entire episode. What? Okay. That's a little disingenuous. It is literally impossible to have the events that play out in this episode actually be portrayed in one shot. So what does Mr. Robot do? It's quite simple. Long shots, great set design, and clever editing. While not actually being a 43-minute long shot, you could fool someone into believing it since, well, it looks like a 43-minute long shot. Since in reality, this episode is a series of extremely long shots stitched and woven together perfectly to look like one continuous shot the entire episode. That alone takes masterful direction, cinematography, and acting, which of course is present throughout the whole episode. But what is most impressive is what's happening during these long shots. Remember, this is about tension, and of course, a long shot builds tension as it never cuts away once, leaving the audience always hyper aware of what's going on since there's not one single break. And having that shot be literally the entire episode, I believe is the most powerful aspect to the tension in specifically this episode. But like I said, it's what happens during the long shots that seals the deal. Look at this. I don't even need to explain how impressive this is. In this episode, there are hundreds of background actors, each doing a unique task and executing it flawlessly as the camera continues to roll. It's one thing to direct a hectic day at the office as a long shot, but directing a fucking invading mob as a long shot? How the hell did Sam Esmail do it? Sorry for focusing so much on this one aspect of this one episode, but it really is extremely impressive and definitely adds to the tension tremendously. But yeah. As this quote-unquote long shot is going on throughout the episode without a break, it shows Elliot's realization that both Stage 2 is commencing today and that he is fired, which results in him taking desperate measures to avoid security, whether it's hiding, blending in, talking, distracting, all while he traverses this labyrinth of corporate grays and blues, which eventually results in him getting caught and taken outside to the protesters, and also learning from Darlene herself that she's working with the FBI and has been trying to find Tyrell Wellick through him. Meanwhile, we switch gears as the protest turns into a riot which storms the entire E-Corp building we just spent 24 minutes traversing with Elliot. Is back in the building where we focus on Angela, who has now become antagonistic as she works with the Dark Army against Elliot. She takes his role of copying important data again while traversing the E-Corp building, and instead of avoiding security, she is avoiding rioters. A very nice parallel of the first half of the episode with Elliot, and just like with Elliot, it's as tense as can be. But in the opposite sense, as I believe, we want to see Angela get stopped since, well, she's helping the Dark Army blow up a building, but she deludes herself into believing no one is going to die as a result. She succeeds on completing the mission, however, she comes face to face with Elliot in the building, as the halves of the episode come together. Cut! Also, let's give a big W to the USA Network for not airing commercials during this episode to preserve the beautiful filmmaking. Alongside the continuous long shot, you got perfectly fitting music and sound design that I believe is the second most powerful aspect of the tension. Take a listen. But yeah, what can be said? To achieve this level of tension, a blend of expertly crafted direction, cinematography, acting, set design, visual effects, sound design, music, and of course writing, because let's be honest, all of this technical mumbo jumbo is only as good as the story it's portraying, and let's just say, it deserves it. Sam Esmail didn't do this to show off, he did it because he believed it was the best way to portray the drama of his story. This is the payoff of 2 seasons and 4 episodes of build-up, with multiple characters facing internal and external conflicts in order to figure out what they really want and how they will achieve it. Which segues us into the second episode I want to discuss. Yep, that was only the first episode, oh boy! The second episode doesn't portray a single continuous long shot, which means it loses that impressive element, but is also free from the constraints that come with a single shot episode. Instead, it plays to its strengths by using contemporary methods of executing tension. We are now focusing on everyone, and I mean everyone, as this day that will go down history plays out. The main through line of Elliot battling to stop Stage 2 is the most important in this episode, and instead of external forces stopping him, it's internal. That's right, Mr. Robot is doing everything in his power to literally set Elliot back. Elliot, instead of using a computer to solve his problems, takes things into his own hands by stopping the source of the impending explosion. And in order to do so, he has to convince Mr. Robot that the Dark Army manipulated him and that all of this is pointless. Meanwhile, Dom, who now knows the hideout of Tyrell Wellick, also takes things into her own hands since, unbeknownst to her, the Dark Army has plans in the FBI. She infiltrates the Red Wheelbarrow in the secret underground hideout, but no Tyrell Wellick. Until she finds Tyrell Wellick while getting coffee in public. Also, Tyrell Wellick is warning everyone about an attack? I thought he was with the Dark Army. Did he betray them after reading and burning the note they gave him? I don't know. Throughout the episode, we switch back and forth between Elliot, the FBI, Tyrell, White Rose, Angela, and Darlene, each with their own mission, but they all intertwine. Elliot eventually convinces Mr. Robot to help him, which is monumental on its own, and he prevents the explosion. As you can guess, he is pretty relieved. However, everyone's eyes are on their screens, as Elliot is confused as to why the Dark Army wanted to blow up a building that didn't even hold the records of E-Corp.
In a series of seemingly orchestrated strikes across the country, a reported 71 buildings owned by E-Corp exploded or caught fire.
And it's in this episode that the tension has paid off. For 2 whole episodes, Mr. Robot had our entire being locked in as we witnessed Stage 2 commence and everyone's reactions to it. For 2 episodes, Elliot did everything he could, including getting Mr. Robot on his side in order to stop Stage 2. Dom did everything she could to find Tyrell Wellick, only to see him basically turning himself in while warning everyone. Angela did everything she could to help the Dark Army take down E-Corp with no casualties in her mind. Tyrell also did everything he could to fulfill his and Mr. Robot's mission of taking down E-Corp. However, there was only one winner, the person least focused on, White Rose. No one knew it, all this tension was for something that didn't even matter. Just an unbelievable gut punch, as the thing we thought we were getting tense over was just a mere distraction the entire time. Bravo. What Mr. Robot did in these 2 episodes is nothing short of a masterpiece. This show has achieved the heights of tension only seen in the greatest of dramas, but in my mind, what sets this one apart is how it was executed. Masterful filmmaking that deserves more attention. If you haven't watched Mr. Robot, please watch it. Yes, it's confusing and slow at first, but trust me, it's worth it. If you've seen Mr. Robot, then I have a feeling this is only the beginning. And as always, thanks for watching.